So everyone, as you can see, we don't have lecture today. We're gonna just talk about the sketchbook project. Good morning.
Good morning.
1 second, let me take a picture. We're gonna just talk about the sketchbook project. So let's start. The next sketchbook project is a perspective drawing. And we learned the Renaissance last class. And the masters of the Renaissance discovered and used perspective drawing technique to create implied space, like 3D implied space on the two-dimensional surface. So we are going to do the perspective drawing to understand their technique through the sketchbook project. So the perspective linear or point projection perspective is one of two types of graphical projection perspective in the graphic art. Linear perspective is an approximate representation, generally on a flat surface, such as paper, of an image as it is seen by the eye. The most characteristic features of the linear perspective are that objects appear smaller as their distance from the observer increases, and that they are subject to foreshortening, meaning that an object's dimensions along the line of sight appear shorter than its dimensions across the line of sight. Also, all objects will receive 2 points in the distance. So usually along the horizon line, but also above and below the horizon line, depending on view used. So this is the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. We saw it last week. In this painting, he used 1-point linear perspective with vanishing point on the center of the implied space. So this is a good perspective technique for compacting many objects in a limited space. This is another example of 1-point linear perspective drawing.
Mom, can you give me a paper? Right.
And this is 2-point linear perspective. So it is good. It is a good technique to show dynamic view with foreshortening in drawing. And this is another example of 2-point linear perspective drawing. So as you see, it's slightly harder than 1-point perspective because of adding one more point. So that makes it complicated. But with this perspective technique, you can create dynamic space on your work of art. So for this project, you will need a sketchbook, ruler, pencil, eraser, any color medium you have. And I will give you 9 options for this project. And please choose one of the perspective options and must draw one of the option based on the 1 point or 2 point linear perspective. So as usual, please write which option you choose and post the work process image in the Moodle room. So now let me show you the options. So the option files is posted in week 11 of Moodle room. So you can see it while you're drawing. This is first option, the two-dimensional, 2 point linear perspective. So all the photos have this perspective guide like this, so you can just follow the guideline, when you begin. And this is the second option. It is a 1 point linear perspective with vanishing point, which is easier than the two-dimensional work. 2-point work. And this is the third option with the 2-point linear perspective. And this is fourth option, 2-point linear perspective. Now see, it has 2 points. And this is the fifth one with the 2-point linear perspective. And here's sixth one. And this one also on 2-point linear perspective. And this is the seventh option with the 1-point linear perspective. And here's another 1-point perspective photo. This is option 8. And the ninth option is 2-point linear perspective. So that's all the options. So first, select an image among the options you just saw. And again, the option images are in week 11 of Moodle room. And check out your image option, whether 1-point or 2-point perspective, and sketch the image option on your sketchbook based on perspective rule. I sketched it on a color paper to look fancy, but you don't need to if you don't have it. And lastly, check the color. You can just color it with the any color medium you have, like crayon, oil pastel, or color pencil, whatever you have. I used pastel for this drawing. So now I will show you how to start 1-point or 2-point perspective drawing. So for the 1-point linear perspective drawing, I picked this as an example. So this is the option 2. So let me switch the table. So here, I printed the second option photo. You don't need to print it now. I just printed to explain how to draw the perspective drawing. And now I'm going to follow to draw all the walls lines on the floor and the ceiling. So that's the key to find the vanishing point in 1 point perspective. So I'm gonna start from the left wall. So here, the ceiling line and the floor line. Like this. See, I've already found 1 point in this photo. And again, I said this photo is the 2-point linear perspective photo. So I'm gonna find another point from the right side of the wall. So here I'm gonna follow these lines from the ceiling and the floor line. As you can see, the line, just past the paper. So the left point is going to be on the left side, here somewhere, right? So this is the 2-point perspective. And let's go back to the left wall. So to make a perfect perspective drawing, you should check the angles from the wall side. See, all the lines go to the point. See that? Like this. Like this. So only thing you have to do just to draw the single, the details on these lines. Okay. So I will show you the drawing. I will show you the drawing process. So again, you don't need to print it out like this, okay? Because you've already have the perspective guide in the file of the model room. So now, before I start the angled lines, I'm gonna find the criteria here. The center line, the vertical line like this, is going to be about here. See, I just, draw the ceiling and the floor with the vertical line. And now I just created the space here. And this is going to be the door. And window. And clothing. And let me finish the right wall. And I'm just doing the basic shading here. It doesn't need to be accurate, no.
So Professor, we need to take a picture and then basically like present our picture and then also present our drawing.
You don't need to take a picture. You can just pick the options. I just shared this 9 options, right?
Yes.
So please choose one of them.
Okay.
And then it's represented like this, okay? Yeah. So I'm done. And then you can just color on it. So this is the 2-point linear perspective. I'm sorry, I should have showed you the 1-point perspective drawing first. This is the option 6, 2-point perspective. And now I'm gonna show you how to draw the 1-point perspective drawing. So this is the option 2. So just same as the 2-point linear perspective, I'm gonna find the point. Okay, I'm gonna find the vanishing point on this 1-point perspective. So I will just draw the lines from the ceiling and the floor. So the ruler. I've already found it right here, right? And from the right side of the wall, yep, so all the lines go to the vanishing point. To make a accurate drawing, I'm finding all the angles from the objects on the wall, like this. See? All the lines heading to the vanishing point. So from the right wall, I can see a window here. So like this. So now I'm gonna sketch this based on the perspective I just found. Like the 2-point linear perspective, I'm gonna find the vertical line first. So it's about here. So floor line. And the ceiling line from the left wall. And let me draw the right wall. You can draw all the guidelines with the pencil and then you can erase it later. Here's another room entrance. And the light on the ceiling. And this is the artwork displayed on the wall. The paint on the floor. See, I just draw the guideline first and then fill the details in it. And here's another tricky angles here. Like this. Very simple. So just you can just follow the the perspective lines, the angles. See? It's done. So, like this, I need you to choose one of the perspective photo from the 9 options, and then sketch it like this. And I need you to post the word process in the Moodle room with the which option you choose. Okay. Any question about this project?